Welcome to Spoiler Recap Movie Lovers, both our loyal subscribers and those joining us for the very first time. This is the place where we dive into the world of storytelling, adventure, and cinematic magic. Whether you're here to rediscover old classics or uncover hidden gems, you're in for an unforgettable ride. Today, we're setting sail on a journey through the high seas, filled with daring exploits, cursed treasures, and unforgettable characters. Brace yourselves as we delve into the swashbuckling epic Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. From the mysterious allure of Captain Jack Sparrow, whose charm is as unpredictable as the tides, to the tale of cursed Aztec gold that has doomed an entire crew to live as skeletal shadows under moonlight, this movie is a thrilling adventure like no other. It's a story of betrayal, love, courage, and redemption, all set against the backdrop of a roaring sea and a treasure chest brimming with secrets. So grab your compass and hoist the sails as we embark on this cinematic voyage. If you're ready for a tale that will leave you on the edge of your seat, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's chart a course into the heart of the Curse of the Black Pearl. In Pirates of the Caribbean, we are introduced to Captain Jack Sparrow, a charismatic yet perpetually tipsy pirate who was once at the helm of the Black Pearl. A decade earlier, his first mate, Barbossa, betrayed him, leaving Jack marooned on a deserted island with nothing but a pistol and a single bullet. Now, Barbossa commands the Black Pearl, along with a cursed crew. At the heart of the story is William Turner, the son of a pirate, who leads an unassuming life as a blacksmith. Despite his ordinary existence, Will's blood holds the key to breaking the curse that binds the Black Pearl's crew. Will also has unspoken feelings for Elizabeth Swann, the governor's daughter, who plays a pivotal role in the unfolding events. Commodore Norrington, another central figure, is vying for Elizabeth's hand in marriage, though his character lacks much depth beyond his ambition and duty. The curse itself stems from a chest of Aztec gold, containing 882 coins. The gold grants immortality, but at a terrible cost. The cursed pirates are reduced to skeletal forms under the moonlight. To lift the curse, every piece of gold must be returned to the chest, accompanied by a blood sacrifice. If even one thief fails to make their offering, the entire group remains under the curse's grip. The story begins in the 1970s, with the HMS Dauntless sailing toward Port Royal when it stumbles upon a shipwreck and rescues a young boy. This boy, named Will Turner, is found with a golden pirate medallion around his neck. Elizabeth, the governor's daughter aboard the ship, notices the medallion and secretly takes it to hide the possibility that Will might have pirate connections, which could have led to his imprisonment. Fast forward 8 years. Elizabeth has kept the medallion a secret, while Will has become a blacksmith's apprentice. At the same time, Captain Jack Sparrow, a notorious pirate, arrives at Port Royal on a sinking boat and boldly informs the guards that he plans to steal a ship. Meanwhile, Captain James Norrington is promoted to Commodore and proposes to Elizabeth, but she isn't interested. Feeling suffocated by her tight corset, she faints and falls into the sea, triggering a pulse from the medallion around her neck. Jack sees her fall and leaps into the water to rescue her. Despite saving her, Norrington recognizes Jack as a pirate and orders his arrest. Jack takes Elizabeth hostage to escape, but cleverly warns everyone to remember this as the day they almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. During his escape, Jack crosses paths with Will and they duel. Impressed by Will's skills, Jack was knocked out from behind and still ends up captured and jailed. That night, the Black Pearl, a feared pirate ship, attacks Port Royal in search of the medallion. Elizabeth is captured and taken aboard to meet Captain Barbossa. Will tries to intervene but is knocked unconscious. Aboard the Pearl, Elizabeth claims her last name is Turner to hide her identity as the governor's daughter. Barbossa reveals that the medallion is part of a cursed treasure of 882 Aztec gold pieces stolen from Isla de Muerta. The curse has turned Barbossa and his crew into immortal beings who appear skeletal in moonlight, unable to taste or feel anything. Returning all but one piece of the gold, they need the medallion and the blood of a Turner to break the curse. Barbossa assumes Elizabeth is the descendant of Bootstrap Bill Turner, a former Pearl crew member who opposed the mutiny that ousted Jack Sparrow as captain. For his defiance, Bootstrap was thrown overboard by Barbossa's crew. Back in town, when Will regains consciousness, he seeks out the Commodore for assistance. However, the Commodore dismisses his plea. Realizing that Captain Jack Sparrow is his only option, Will devises a plan to break Jack out of prison. Jack, however, agrees to help only after learning about Will's father. The two strike a bargain. Jack will assist in rescuing Elizabeth, and in return, Will aid him in reclaiming the Black Pearl. Together, they seize the HMS Interceptor and set sail for Tortuga, where Jack reconnects with Gibbs, an old acquaintance, to help them assemble a capable crew. After gathering a crew, they set sail toward the Isla de Muerta, guided by Jack's broken compass, with their sights set on the Black Pearl. Upon arrival, they discover that the Black Pearl has already reached the island. Will and Jack venture into the caves to rescue Elizabeth and arrive just as Captain Barbossa uses Elizabeth's blood in a ritual, returning the final piece of cursed gold. However, the curse remains intact, as Elizabeth does not carry the bloodline of Bootstrap Bill, Will's father, and a former crew member of the Pearl. Uncertain about Jack's true motives, Will renders him unconscious, rescues Elizabeth, and escapes while the pirates are distracted by their arguments. He takes her back to the Interceptor, leaving Jack behind in adherence to the pirate code. Barbossa captures Jack and imprisons him aboard the Pearl as they give chase to the Interceptor. Aboard the Interceptor, Elizabeth reveals to Will the truth about the medallion, confessing that she took it to protect him when they first met. Despite Will and Elizabeth's efforts to fend off the attack, the Black Pearl overtakes the Interceptor. After a fierce battle, they are defeated, their crew is captured, and the Interceptor is destroyed. Will strikes a bargain with Barbossa, offering his blood in exchange for Elizabeth's freedom and the safety of the crew. While Barbossa agrees to the deal, he manipulates the terms and strands both Elizabeth and Jack on an isolated island. This is the same island where Jack had previously been marooned after the mutiny, left with only a pistol and a single shot. On the island, Elizabeth creates a smoke signal, which is spotted by Norrington, who is searching for her. The Dauntless arrives to rescue her and detain Jack. Elizabeth persuades Norrington to chase after the Black Pearl and save Will, agreeing to his proposal of marriage as a means to convince him. Later that night, the Dauntless reaches Isla de Muerta. Jack proposes a plan to Norrington, suggesting that he will draw the pirates out, leaving them vulnerable to an ambush by the Dauntless crew. Norrington permits Jack to enter the caves, but once inside, Jack convinces Barbossa's crew to attack the Dauntless before the curse is lifted, warning them they would lose their immortality. While doing so, Jack discreetly steals a medallion from the cursed treasure chest. Barbossa orders his crew to attack, and they leverage their immortal status to march underwater toward the Dauntless, while Norrington and his men prepare for them on the shore. Meanwhile, Elizabeth escapes from the Dauntless and sneaks aboard the Black Pearl, where she liberates Jack's imprisoned crew. However, they refuse to help rescue Jack and Will, citing the pirate code as justification. Elizabeth attempts to sway them, explaining that the code is merely a set of guidelines, but they remain unmoved. Determined, Elizabeth decides to take action alone, while Jack's crew takes off with the Black Pearl, abandoning the others. Inside the caves, Jack hands a sword to Will, who engages in battle with Barbossa's crew, while Jack confronts Barbossa in a duel. Elizabeth soon arrives at the scene, joining the fight to assist Will. During their skirmish, Barbossa stabs Jack, only to discover that Jack had taken a piece of gold from the cursed chest, rendering him immortal and incapable of dying. Meanwhile, Norrington, learning that his ship is under attack by pirates, rushes back to defend it. In the caves, Jack seizes an opportunity and shoots Barbossa. At the same time, Will places both coins back into the chest, each smeared with his and Jack's blood. This action lifts the curse, causing Barbossa to succumb to Jack's gunshot, delivered with the single bullet Jack had kept since his marooning. With the curse broken, the rest of Barbossa's crew lose their immortality and surrender. As Jack, Will, and Elizabeth leave, they discover that the Black Pearl has abandoned Jack, leaving him to be captured and imprisoned. Back in town, Jack faces the gallows. At the last moment, Will openly declares his love for Elizabeth and attempts to rescue Jack, but his efforts are thwarted as they are surrounded by soldiers. Standing firm, Will defends Jack, prompting Elizabeth to join him in taking a stand. She also confesses her feelings for Will in front of everyone. Moved by the events, Governor Swann pardons Will and gives his approval for Elizabeth to marry him. Commodore Norrington does not protest, but before the soldiers can apprehend Jack, he makes a daring escape, diving into the sea. The Black Pearl returns to rescue him, with its crew following the pirate codes, which they consider more as flexible guidelines than strict rules. Jack regains control of the ship along with his newly assembled crew. Norrington, showing a bit of leniency, grants Jack and the Black Pearl a one-day head start before beginning his pursuit. As the story concludes, Will and Elizabeth share a heartfelt kiss, while Captain Jack Sparrow sets his sights on the horizon, sailing toward new adventures. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the recap, don't forget to like and subscribe to receive notification on more adventures and movie recaps like this.